what I'll do is throw the scrap metal right into the trailer. But it won't be here, so I had to figure out something else. But we'll figure something out. We'll figure out something. Then Friday, have a doctor's appointment. Oh, wait a minute. Thursday, I'm dropping my wife off at the airport. She's going to bring her my mother-in-law, which you guys all met, back to New Jersey. And I might be going back there for a week. I'm not real sure yet. I might just go back there for a week. I know I have to go back there anyways at some point before wintertime comes. Might as well make it while my wife's there. She won't ride with me from New Jersey to here. She won't do it. I don't know what it is. She just don't like driving 10 or 12 hours, and see, as I blame her too much. It's overcast here today. It's Tuesday, probably about 3 o'clock, 3:30. Ooh, about made me a ring. How do y'all cut y'all's wire to strip it? Get it out of this cable, I mean this plastic. Do you cut it, pull it out, like that? See, this has to be straight because it's going through my stripper. I don't want it to be all bent up. That's why I'm not putting all that in a bucket right now. Don't want my wire to be bent. Take me too long to straighten out that goodness. Now this one piece, of course, I'll roll that thing up with this number 1 shiny. All that goes through the stripper. We do not like kinks like that. I hate that I make it shorter. Huge kink. I'll throw that in my 60% pile, whatever you want to call it. I think I still like just cutting that one strand off and pulling it out like that. La-di-da-di-da. Oh, that goodness. Some people would be probably like, you need to get some gloves on. Gloves might be cool and all, but one thing about the gloves is sometimes it's getting in your way when you're just trying to get a hold of that little piece. When you're trying to get a piece, the last thing you want is a glove. That's for sure. But like I said, you give yourself an hour doing this. Is your time worth the hour as opposed to bringing it in unstripped? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's just all according to what, if you have a stripper, if you don't have a stripper, if you just don't feel like stripping it, if you just have too much. I mean, everything changes. Everything changes with the circumstances. So with my circumstance, I never have too much. I got a lot. I don't think I have too much. No. I don't mind. Plus, I am retired. Well, semi-retired. I still go do estimates, like I say. But I just do estimate for somebody else. I don't have to do it for myself. So I'm not going to go. I go do an estimate, but I don't go do the work. I just, if it's a rubber roof, I go do the videos. If it's a shingle roof, I just do the estimate. I'll let somebody else do the job. Order the materials, let somebody else do the job. I've been self-employed I guess about 23 years doing roofing. So my phone rings, of course, all the time because I've been doing it for so many years around here. I got a lot of people that know me. So it's easy for me to get the calls, get the estimates just for the in-person meeting, basically, so I can meet the person, you know, give them a little bit of my personality and make them love me. And then I order some materials and send somebody else over to do that thing, which I don't see anything wrong with that. I think people have been doing that for most of the time. So that's what I do. I call it my little bonus. And it's my bonus because I built the roofing business for quite a few years and always did it myself with Paul and whoever else I had working for me throughout the 23 years or more. Actually, it's been more than that. I used to own another company, and I called it A&B Roofing. A&B Roofing, and it was just A&B was me. Called that by my first and last name. And then I married a lady that just hated me working for myself and not having a paycheck on Friday some days. Had to wait 2 weeks sometimes for a check or whatever, and she hated it. So I actually quit. I can't believe I don't know why I did. I just did. I wish I never did that, but I quit that job. Working for myself, A&B Roofing. Boy, that's a fat piece there too. Yeah, look at that. That's fatty. Everybody likes a fatty every once in a while. That fatty right there. Goodness. Yes, look at all the wire I've got. So, yeah, I mean, you got to figure, is it worth sitting here stripping this, getting that one piece out? Then you got the other two pieces, sometimes three. You got to bring into the stripper. You all got to run through. You got to split that piece off. It's really, you got to decide for yourself. Is that worth it? Should I actually do that, or should I just drop this stuff off like it is and lose? I'm not sure exactly what you're going to lose. You're going to lose something. So I don't know. It's totally up to you. I ain't got a lot to do. I really don't. If I'm not just sitting out here, I'm sitting inside, and I'll be honest with you, I hate just sitting inside and doing nothing. I feel useless. There's going to be one day when that's all I'm going to be able to do is sit inside and do nothing. It's just not going to be today. And hopefully not this year. So anyways, some of this stuff, because of this, has a lot of foam on it. So now I got to peel off the foam, peel off the exterior in Wilmington, North Carolina, right down the road. It was a Plymouth 1970 or 71 Plymouth Sport Satellite 4-door. Had a 318 in it. Thought I was just king duck. But anyway, so he says, I hear you wanting to follow the bus back. He said, how about you just give Grammy a ride back? She don't feel good. Anyway, and she knew the way and I didn't. So I guess she read the map, and I moved back to Maine. I was still 15 years old. In order to get a job in Maine at 15, and especially before you're 16, you have to go down, well, you did back then, had to go down and get a work permit. So my mom had to, because I was underage, get me a worker's permit because I had quit school. I wasn't going back to school. So I got me a work permit, started working at Nike shoe. And as soon as I got a paycheck or two, my sister Holly let me move in with her to help her pay the rent. So basically, me and her paid the rent, and her boyfriend lived with us. Unbelievable. Anyway, lived with my sister Holly for just a little while, really. After I got my job at Nike shoe, and my paycheck was $2.95 an hour. That was minimum wage when I started work. And of course, I worked 40 hours a week, and after about 2 or 3 months, helping her pay rent and helping her boyfriend pay rent, I was ready to go. So out I went looking for a place to live, and I found an efficiency. Had a stove, a refrigerator. The bathroom was in the hallway, so I had to go out my door and into the hallway, and I shared it with the next door apartment. And I paid $35 a week. And that included everything, except for my gas from my gas stove, because it was a gas. The kitchen stove was gas. So I had to pay for my own gas. But other than that, and I didn't cook much, so I was usually just going down the street to Tony's Market and get something to eat, because I was just 16 years old. So everybody, at 16, I lived all by myself. All by myself, nobody telling me what to do. So whatever I did was on me. Thank the Lord I'm alive today. For real. I mean, thank the damn Lord I'm alive today. You can just imagine a 15-year-old with nobody telling him what to do. No rules whatsoever. Can you imagine a 15-year-old, no rules, lives by himself? I did it. I did it. I stayed working at Nike shoe for 5 years. I bet I never missed one day of work until, of course, I lived by myself, so I was a drinker. One night, I went out with some buddies. We went down to Old Orchard Beach, Maine, and decided we were going to be drunk, have a good time, blah, blah, blah. You know how that goes. 16-year-old. 17. I might have been 18 by then. I don't even know. I was probably there a couple years. Anyway, buddies from Nike. We went all out drinking and driving. Paul Gagne. Paul Gagne. It was his Jeep. He had an old Jeep. Renegade or something like that. Little cranking stereo in there. Anyway, no top. Me, him, and Danny Burgalt went down to Old Orchard Beach. Got drunk all night. And then ended up back at the boardwalk about 2 o'clock in the morning. And walking on the boardwalk, drunker than hell, nobody there but us. Decided we wanted one of them ornamental flags that was on the wall, hanging on that, up the top of that 10-foot chain link fence. Post that went up about another 10 or 15 feet with flags on them. And they were all different flags. All different. One of the guys was like, oh man, I'd like to have that flag. That thing's cool. And I said, I'll get it. Well, I jumped up top of that fence. I went up there and pulled the bottom loose, and I grabbed the hold to the top of the thing, and I pulled it. And that fence pole that I was on broke or bent right at the top of the fence. And it slung me down on that boardwalk. Broke my freaking foot. Broke my heel, I should say. Literally shattered my heel in 5 places. Shattered it. Well, anyway, I'm drunker than hell, thank God, because I was in some pain. That hurt me. Well, I was the least drunk of all of us, and it wasn't my truck. And the cops showed up as we were trying to leave. And he said, literally, I think, who's drank the least? I don't know if it was true or not, but I said me, because I had already drank to the point where puking and drinking some more that night. Anyway, I drove home. Buddy drops me off at my house, or I drop myself off. He takes off, goes home. Next day I end up in the hospital, shattered heel. But anyway, that was a little bit of my experience of growing up. I moved to Maine. I didn't get in too much trouble. I mean, I was a hellion. Yes, I lived by myself. Any 15-year-old is going to be with nobody telling them, or 16 by the time I moved out completely. With nobody telling them what to do is not going to probably be the best idea. Do you know anybody that had their own apartment at 15 years old, lived by themselves, paid their own bills? $35 a week. First thing I had to do is pay that. And then my gas for my car and insurance and everything else that I had to pay for. I had to pay for lights or anything. It was all included. Worked at Nike for 5 years and decided that I had enough of that cold weather in Maine. Moved right back here, Southport. I think I might have literally came back and stayed with my dad for about a month. Anyway, probably stayed with my dad for about a month. Had me a job immediately, working with my buddy that had given me the job before. Except I was making a lot more money. Then I was making $10 an hour when I came back, literally. I was making $10 an hour. But the thing about it is, while I was in Maine, I worked at Nike Shoe. Well, Nike Shoe, the job that I had was piecework. So I started at $2.95 an hour. And then by the time I was done, I was making more money than my girlfriend's mother that was a nurse. It was literally a nurse. I was making $9.27 an hour as a young kid before I left that place. You take a kid making $9.27 an hour, you got a scary situation. Anyway, eventually, I had one drunk night too many and decided it was time to go from there. That that's not the way I wanted to live. And every one of my friends was drinking or drugging or something. Take a wire out and strip 3. Gosh, is it worth it, or should I just leave that little bit of trash on there and bring that thing in just like that? Because I'll be honest with you, it's got some weight right there to that piece. So I'm probably going to take the 3 wire. They're both yellow. One of them has 3 wires, one of them has 4. These wires are in circles and they go around and around and around. These wires here, they just go round and around. I mean, they're in a circle. You're gonna untangle them, straighten them out. Well, they won't run through the stripper too good. Ask Jimbo Scrap. And if you haven't checked out his channel yet, do that. Jimbo Scrap. That's all you need to know. So some of this wire, I'm gonna take apart. Some of it. I want to say I'm pretty much probably just going to bring it in just because it's so hard to do. And I don't think I'm going to lose much money as far as when it comes to the time wise. It's not like I'm hard up for anything. I've got so much money laying right here. It's not even funny. I'm guessing I've got somewhere between $2,000 and $3,000 minimum just sitting right here in my lot. That's with me just taking it apart, but I've been collecting it for a while, so that's what happens when you collect. Eventually you're going to have a stash, and a bigger stash, not to mention the size of that big boy. And you know, joke, got one here, got one there, got one there, a couple over there, a couple of them. They're all over the place. And like everybody else said, you should put your compressors in one spot, your motors in another, your copper in another. So that's pretty much what I'll be doing from now on. As soon as I can get all this, sorry about that, drop you on your head. Damn, anybody got a headache from that? So as soon as I get this yard cleaned up for my viewers, I'm not gonna, oh, you won't be looking at a mess back here anymore, because I'm just gonna, instead of holding it, I'm gonna circulate it right out. Because if you don't, it can be really become, it can become that. It's not really what I wanted, not what my wife was hoping for. Although I got a good one, and she has lightly mentioned it a few times, but really never said, you need to get that cleaned up. And I was hoping she didn't ask me about any snakes, but she did, and them ones that I had to get rid of the other day. She said, have you seen any snakes out there? I wanted to say, no, I ain't seen no snakes. Ain't seen no snakes, but of course, I can't lie about it. So I said, yeah, I killed a couple of them the other day. She said, well, if there's two, there's probably more. I said, yeah, you're probably right. So I guess I'm just gonna work on this until it's all done. She said, yeah, that might be a good idea. I said, okay. So you see what I'm doing. But again, like I said, I do have quite a bit. This bucket's completely full. Yeah, that's a pretty big bucket. And I got all that wire and all that wire, plus a crap ton of wire back there in that roll, and it's just wire everywhere that I need to get cleaned up. So it's not like I've got a shortage of it right now. And don't think I'm gonna run into a shortage. People ain't gonna quit throwing things away. There's no doubt about that. And I was joining right on in with them. So, in order to get out of the situation, I got out of the situation. Came back here. My first wife I met had 5 kids. Only 3 of them lived with her. 2 of them lived with her grandmother in New Jersey. Salem, New Jersey. They were her first 2 kids. Her mom kept them when she left her, because she was real young, lived with her mom when she had them. But anyway, her name was Brenda. She was a cute little thing. But she liked freaking Valiums. Straight up, she loved a Valium or a Xanax. I came home one day, and my daughter was crying, and I could hear her when I got out the truck. Like, what in the world is she screaming for? So I run in the house, and I go straight to the screen. Of course, I could see Brenda in there, sitting on the couch, while my daughter was screaming, Jennifer, screaming top of her lung. So I went in there. She had poop coming outside of her diapers. God, I'm embarrassed to say that. Yeah, my wife was a freaking addict, I guess. She liked drugs more than kids. Of course, my kid was her 6th kid, so I guess by then you don't give a flying fruit fly. Anyway, I immediately picked up my daughter, cleaned her up. She was literally laying in pee. The whole bed was piss. She was so messed up on the couch, it wasn't funny. She was drooling, could barely talk. Anyway, I tried to get her to quit, told her I was going to call her doctor and tell her she was abusing her pills, blah, blah, blah. That's the kind of life I had. So getting to where I'm at today, to be honest with you, not a story everybody probably wants to tell about themselves, but getting to where I am today, I'm kind of proud of myself. After everything that I went through, super proud of myself for having 2 businesses successful. The only reason why I left my first one was because of my second wife, excuse me. She didn't like me working for myself. Kind of weird. She wanted a paycheck every day, and she didn't want me to show up at home unexpected. That's another story. Anyways, I made it to where I'm at. That's mine. All that property. That road back there. I own it all the way to the road. That's all mine. I worked my ass off. I'm straight up, I ain't gonna lie. To have or to be where I'm at today, I worked my ass off. Quit drinking, quit drugging completely. My baby was born, that was it, but no more of that crap. Of course, my wife, on the other hand, she wasn't quite like that. And by the way, let me see. After we got divorced, she married another guy and got divorced, married, dated another guy, maybe married him, I don't know. I'm trying to think how many years later. My daughter was 15, so about 12 or 13 years after we got divorced, I left her for her drug problem. She OD'd on heroin and died. So she left every child that she had for heroin. So I know about heroin abuse, although I've never actually seen heroin in my entire life. I don't know if anybody else has, but I've never seen it. Never wanted to. When I was growing up, I had my share of drugs, being whatever kind they were. I think one of my favorite was, to be honest with you, was acid. I like that acid stuff and that tripping. But I never did anything crazy. I've seen people do crazy stuff on it. Never made me do anything crazy. I just got really funny. Everything was funny to me. But in real life, it probably wasn't a very smart thing to do. But thank God I turned out okay. And I have what I have. And I work hard for everything I've ever had. I even worked hard, to be honest with you, in my marriages. And I've been married 4 times. This is my 4th. I had a Brenda. Then I had a Sharon. And then I had a Amanda. And then I had a Jamie. Jamie's been my longest one, 23 years. My second one was my second longest. That lasted quite a few years too. Although she was bipolar. God. If you ever live with anybody bipolar, holy smoke, you're gonna go through hell. Bipolar, yeah, you will go through hell. And it won't be your fault. Trust me. Nothing's gonna be your fault. You're just gonna live through hell. Bipolarness is a big time disease. And they can't even handle it. I mean, these people can't handle it. They don't mean to be so mean as they are. There's something going on in their chemistry, apparently. Anyway, what ended us, the crazy thing, what ended up, you won't believe what ended us. We went to church, Presbyterian, and even our church preacher that married us was, the church that we went to, the guy who married us. And anyway, we had some issues that she was kind of, being weird about. And I was like, well, let's go to counseling because I want somebody else to hear my side of the story because I don't feel like I've done anything wrong. And anyway, so we went to counseling a few times and the preacher, swear to God, crossed my heart, hope to die. Gabe was his name. Gabriel something. Anyway, he was the guy that married us. He literally was sitting there in counseling one day. He looked at my wife, Amanda. He says, Amanda, he says, you guys have been coming to me for several months. And I just want to tell you something. Your husband is not doing anything that gives you the right, not that gives you the right, I don't know the exact word, that you should be blowing up at him like you do. What you're telling me is not any reason to be mad at your husband. So anyways, needless to say, that was the last time we went to our counseling meeting. Yep, last time. So on the way home, she was like, well, I guess you heard just exactly what you wanted to hear. I said, no, you heard exactly what I wanted you to hear. I didn't hear it. You heard it. I already knew it. Anyway, he told her she needed to go to the doctor and find out what's wrong with her, because somewhere or another, she had a chemical imbalance. And he literally said, there's not much sense in y'all coming back here, because I don't feel like there's anything more than I can do for you until you go get some possible medication or something. Boy, we left that place right there. It wasn't long. We weren't living together when we were divorced. And no, it wasn't that long after that. And I met Jamie while I was still married. So I wasn't actually cheating, but I was texting. Or what do you call it? Chatting. I met Jamie chatting on Yahoo Chat. I never had a computer. My dad had one. My sister had one. I wanted one. So I got a 486. The hell was the name of that thing? Something had a 486 processing system. I could barely get on the internet with it. It was just something you could barely get on with. And that was back when you used to do all that squeaking and squilling noise when you signed on and stuff. Remember that? That was crazy. Computers talking to each other, making all kind of pinging noises and stuff. I got about half of that bucket done. This thing bucket here is getting up there. But anyway, that's just a little part of my life, and I know I probably skipped around a little bit. I don't know, but so yeah. I mean, after my 4th marriage, here I am with Jamie, and this is what I've acquired in the last 23 years. So from the time I first got married, maybe 21. I think I got married at 21 to Brenda. Married to her for a while. Split up. Married Sharon. And I was only married to Sharon for about 30 days, maybe 45. Anyways. I'm done telling stories. Matter of fact, I'm just about done working for the day. I don't even know what time it is. Siri, oh, it's 4:30. It's past time for me to go in the house. I'm done. All right, so it's 4:30. I've scrapped half of that bucket, or at least pulled the wire out of it. And told enough stories. I'm not telling any more stories today. But just to give you an idea. Oh, by the way, I do want to tell a little bit more of that story before it's over with. I finished the 8th grade in Mount Airy, North Carolina, at Sam Gentry Middle School. I finished the 8th grade and we moved here. I got a job. I moved away from here. I told you about the jobs here. I moved away from here, moved back to Maine, went to work at Nike, came back here. And while I was married to Brenda, I was working all day and going to night school in the evening and trying to work on my credits so I could graduate or something. Well, I only ended up going until my 10th grade credits. And then I was like, dang it, I just really didn't have time to work and go to school and raise kids and everything else that was going on in my life. So I decided to go to the local college here. What is it? The Brunswick Technical College. Excuse me. I decided to go to the Brunswick Technical College and sign up for my GED test. So that was cool. Excuse me. I signed up for my GED, went down there and took a pre-test. And after the pre-test was over, they told me what I needed to work on, which was a little bit of math. Gave you like 2 days or something like that. So I worked on a little bit of math, memorizing some stuff. And I went back 2 days later and took my GED and passed. So I've had my GED since I was about 25. And I don't know if, I can't say that I've ever had a job that I needed it at, but I had it. So, and that was something that I just wanted to accomplish. Just because of everything I've been through, I wanted to be able to say I graduated something. I got my GED. I was able to say that, so I was proud of myself, and I did it on my own. Nobody telling me that I had to do it, or that I couldn't do it, or I could do it. I just went and did it. All right, well, it's 4:30. I just heard my wife open the door and let the dogs out. I'm gonna call it a day. I'm going inside, download this video, maybe 2, and we'll see you on the next one. And thanks for stopping by. Thanks for listening to me run my mouth. Give you a little bit of story about myself. I feel lucky to be who I am. I feel lucky to be where I am. I've had some health issues, but you know what? God deals everybody a different deck. And he's dealt me what I've got, and I'm going to work with it, and I'm going to do good with it. No matter what he deals me or whatever happens between now and when I die, I'm always going to do everything I can to be happy. That's the main thing. Everybody wants to be happy. Who wants to be? Well, everybody wants money too. Money's nice, so that's why I work. I mean, I've quit doing roofing. Pretty much retired that, subcontracted out, but never quit, man. Never quit. And don't let anybody get you down, whether it be a woman or a man, whatever. Keep your spirits, work hard, and you will succeed in one way or the other. So thanks for watching, and let me run my mouth and you listening. And we'll see you on the next one.